Hello. So today's video, I guess, is going to be something a bit different. A few weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago now, I posted up a video about men's mental health. And it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month this month, so I just thought, as a few of you asked, I would make a second video. Now, the reason that I've not uploaded much this last few weeks is because of my mental health. For me, this time of year, not because it's coming up to Christmas or the dark nights or anything like that, this time of year for me is the time that I went through a lot of what I did. Now, maybe 4 years ago now, to pretty much the date, but for me it's still at certain times, and I don't know the best way of putting it, it just still flares up. It still comes back, it's still at certain times tough to deal with. And I was umming and ahhing over whether to make this video or not, because it's a tough video to make in the first place. But I know that the first video helped a lot of you guys reach out, speak to people, and also know that you're not on your own. I decided to do it today because today's what I would call an anniversary day of one of the big events that caused a lot of the trauma that I deal with today, so to speak. So it's not a particularly great day, but at the same time, probably the best kind of day to try and make this kind of video. And just chat to you about how I struggle and also how I deal with trying to move forward. It's not easy. There's others of you out there that are in the same boat. There's a lot of you guys that, after seeing the other video, have been through the same sort of thing. Maybe not the same situation, but the same sort of illness that's been caused by things that you've been through. And it's days like today that a lot of people that after the first video said they were like, on them really tough days, how would you get through that day? And as harsh as this is going to sound, I'd love to say that you get through them days for your kids or for your missus, or you pull the extra strength together to get through for the people that you love, but you don't. You need to learn to pull through those days for you. Because for me, like, my biggest sort of supporter with my mental health has been my mum. Not ashamed to say that, we're very close. And she always says to me on the bad days that today may be a bad day, but tomorrow could be something amazing. So as much as today's a bad day, tomorrow could be brilliant. Tomorrow for me, especially because a lot of mine's triggered from PTSD, so it's like last night I was up most of the night with nightmares, flashbacks, stuff that just puts me in not a very good headspace the next day when I wake up. Can't help it. It's not something that I can do anything about. It's there, it will always be there. Sometimes it's worse than others. But that puts me in a bad headspace today. That doesn't mean that tomorrow or next week or the week after is ruined. So today I get up and I put in as much as I physically and mentally can to the day. It may not be a lot. It may be a lot. Depending on whether it's kind of made me feel low or whether it's made me feel angry, or like, as bad as this sounds, like if it makes me feel angry, that's better, because it gives me more energy and more drive to push through a bad day, as opposed to if I'm kind of feeling low and down and then I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be in the workshop, but then if I went home I wouldn't want to be at home. You're kind of stuck in that catch-22. But if I can get up today and I can make a little bit of progress today, and tomorrow is a good day and I can just chip away and make a little bit of progress tomorrow, then I'm still moving forward. It's not always easy. I have done recently a bit of extra counselling, just to be. I spoke to my counsellor a bit recently because for some reason this year, I don't know why, it's like 4 years on, this year is just a particularly tough year. Nothing's happened that is anything remotely like what did happen that left me this way in the first place, but it's just come back, and it's something that I will always deal with. So learning how best to deal with it in, I guess, a constructive way is the best way of putting it. When I'm kind of having a low day, I stick my headphones on, I listen to music. When I'm having an angry day, I might get in the gym or go speak to my old Muay Thai trainer, see if I can get back in there and go and thrash it out on the pads for an hour. Try and use it in some sort of constructive way rather than a self-destructive way. I've been at the point where it's made me that low that I want to be self-destructive, that I want out. You don't need to. You know, if you're waking up every day and you're still getting up every day, then there's some fight left in you. That if you can get up and you can get out of bed as much as you don't want to, that's the hardest part. When you don't want to leave the house, but you do, it's a hard battle to overcome. But once you get out, you're out. You know, once you've gone to work, you're past probably the hardest part that you can try and do. And I don't say this for like simply a sympathy or comments. I don't want any of that in the comments. You know, if anyone wants to comment on this video, share your experiences for other people, help other people out. Because there's a lot of people out there that struggle way too much, that don't have anyone to talk to. I am quite lucky these days. I do have people to turn to. I have a couple of very close, good friends that I can speak to, night or day. A couple of close family members, and my partner. I can speak to her when I need to. But it's not everybody has that. So even if it's a friend that you think maybe he's feeling a bit low, or you haven't heard from her much, or maybe you keep asking them if they want to go out for a drink or something and they keep swerving you, you know, just don't sort of just dismiss it. You know, try and, if there's somebody that you know that struggles or that may be struggling, try and reach out as best you can, because chances are they're not going to reach out to you. For me, reaching out at the start of this was the hardest thing that I did. Nowadays, I'm not ashamed of it. It's part of me. I deal with it on a daily basis. I have to live with it. I have to sort of teach myself and train myself to become stronger than the emotions that are trying to hold me back. That's probably the biggest struggle in all of this. And you can. You know, your mind is such a powerful thing. It's more powerful than any physical part of you. When I mentally started to deteriorate, I suppose, because of everything, like physically my body was just disappeared. And I'll pop some pictures up. And like literally these were like a month apart. And it's taken me a long time to physically and mentally get back to a better place. Back at that time, I was ruled by this 24/7. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat. It was just 24/7 anxiety, just this thing, horrendous fear of impending doom constantly would be the best way that I can put it. Just literally just constant feeling of being scared when, not that there was no real reason to be, but it just didn't need to be. As contradictory as that sounds. And those feelings still crop back today, because obviously they are the result of what happened. But you can push through. And a lot of people say these days that, oh well, you know, the things that you went through and that trauma that I went through made me stronger. It didn't. It didn't. It did the exact opposite. It left me with massive trust issues. It left me with horrendous anxiety. It left me with bouts of depression and all sorts. It left me with PTSD, which a lot of the time leaves me waking up with nightmares and flashbacks And like a bloke in my late 30s to wake up with a heart rate of like 140 in the middle of the night from a flashback or a nightmare is horrendous. It's just, it's the sort of thing that you think that kids do, not a grown man. But that's how much it can affect you. And mentally it does affect you physically in that way. What made me stronger was not what I went through. It was, I had to make me stronger in order to deal with it and to keep moving forward. And you just have to. There is no other choice. If you don't teach yourself to become stronger than what you went through, then what you went through and the issues that you have, whether they are, to some people they might seem minute, to some people they might seem like the world's worst thing ever happened. But to you, you know how it feels. So you have to teach yourself to become stronger than what you are struggling with. And I mean, this month's been Men's Mental Health Month. I've seen nothing in the mainstream media, a few bits on social media like TikTok and stuff, but no one's really talking about it. Like, how many of you guys watching this video know that this month there was an International Men's Day? I didn't until I saw it the other day. As men, we haven't got anyone really fighting our corner. And I wouldn't say that you have to fight your own corner, but it feels that way. Like today. Today's a random one. I'm in the workshop on my own. I wouldn't say that helps or doesn't help. Just because my head may be a bit too much time to think. And overthink some things. But, when you think about some of the stuff that's going on in the world, I think, what I'm going through is pretty minor in respect to that. But for me, and I know for some of you, it's not minor, it's massive. So, from one bloke to another, do not sort of give up on yourself. You need to, if you're somebody who's struggling and you want to get better for you, don't do it for everybody else. As horrible as that sounds, it's pointless doing it for everybody else. If you want to be better for your kids, you want to be better for your partner, you want to be better for your family, but ultimately it comes down, you need to be better for you. You are the most important thing. You are, if you have got kids in a family, you are massively important to them. And you just trying to pull yourself out of it for them, but not ending up in a happy or in a good place yourself, it's just not worth it. You have to put in the effort for you. So reach out. There's a few men's mental health charities. Reach out to the doctors, Samaritans, anywhere. If you really need to talk, hit up a friend. Just write a message and send it. Just whatever you can do to try and reach out and talk to somebody and to try and get some help. So, as much as this has been maybe a different video to my usual, I hope for somebody it's useful. Maybe it gives you a bit more an insight into me, because I know a lot of you guys want to know a little bit more about the guy that you watch on YouTube. Like for me, I'm currently in the middle of a 3-month span that I went through a lot of stuff. So uploads might be a little bit hit and miss at the minute, but I will still be uploading because it's something that I enjoy doing, and it's something that takes my mind off everything as well, which is why a lot of the time I do keep uploading during these times, because it helps me to focus. It gives me something to keep moving forward for, to keep helping people, and in helping you guys it helps me at the same time. Little things like that have made a big difference in my life, and I never expected one day that would end up like 35,000 subscribers when I started this little channel. But I think one of the most important videos that I did ever make was the last video that I made about men's mental health. and my struggle with it, because it opened it up to a lot of eyes that maybe wouldn't have seen it. So from me to you, I hope you're doing well. If anyone wants to reach out, you can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. And if you do know someone who's struggling, reach out to them. So that's it for me for this week, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
I don't think this is ever said enough, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, but people who are struggling with things like depression, anxiety, addiction, PTSD, you name it, mental health struggles in general, are the strongest people, are the bravest people. They're warriors. Because guess what? So many people don't survive. They don't make it out because of the demons inside of their own head. Hear what I'm saying? So the simple fact that you're still sitting here and breathing, you're still fighting, you're still surviving. And even if that's all you're fucking doing right now is just surviving, it makes you the strongest type of person, hands down, that I know of. Because the strongest people aren't the ones who show off how strong they are. They're the ones who fight battles every single day that nobody else knows about, and they continue showing up. They keep going. And that's you.